What is going on YouTube? This is ELMKG Life, and I am doing my follow-up for my Tesla road trip to Orlando and back. I completed that trip yesterday. We left out on Friday before the holiday. Left out Friday morning. Um, Made 2 stops on our way there. I documented those in the new YouTube shorts. But it was going there was actually, it took about 8 hours, 9 hours. I'm going to round up and say about 9 hours. Made 2 stops. Our first stop was let me back up. This trip was my wife, myself, my daughter, and her boyfriend. And he was chaperoned, of course, by my 380. So all was well. Yeah, we all four of us went. We didn't pack as heavy as I thought we would. We got everything into the rear trunk without needing any extra storage. So I figure we probably added, our body weight, and I'm the biggest one in the group, so everyone else is small. So I figured with my weight and everybody, we probably were about maybe 700 pounds. Not even 700. I probably maybe 600 pounds with the luggage. That's a guesstimate. But anyway, so the four of us, we left out at 6 in the morning, heading to Orlando. Our first stop was documented, and we stopped at Hardyville, South Carolina, or is that no South Carolina? We're right at the border of South Carolina and Georgia, which was a nice stop. It's at a gas station, right off the freeway, right off of 95 South, and there's a Waffle House right there. So we actually charged and we ate at the Waffle House. Someone left a comment saying the Hardyville exit is a sketchy area. The only thing I would say was sketchy was probably the Waffle House, because that was the only thing I ate that day, and later on that night my stomach was toe up. So I would say that Waffle House kind of had me toe up. But other than that, we've stopped at the Hardyville exit before, which is right outside of Savannah, and yeah, I mean it's actually not too bad, easy getting in and out. Not a lot of charging spaces, so if you can time it right and get there, you'll have a space. I think there are maybe 8. I'm guessing. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but the gas station being right there for using the bathroom and picking up little snacks was good. And the Waffle House, I guess it was what I ordered, but typically, the Waffle House is generally good. I typically like the Waffle House. I always tell my wife, before we go, I say, hey, we're up to date on our vaccinations? And if so, we'll go ahead and go to Waffle House, because I feel like I need a vaccine going into some of them. But so we left from there and we rode down to our next stop was from Hardyville, South Carolina. Our next stop was St. Augustine, Florida. And the reason why, now, when I initially mapped everything, Tesla tells you, oh, you're going to stop here for 10 minutes and your next stop will be, here for 15, blah, blah, blah. And that first stop, I fully recharged because we were at the Waffle House. So it took a little longer. So it was, instead of me stopping, I think it was going to have me stop at initially somewhere outside of Jacksonville. But because I fully charged, they let me go further into Florida. So I was able to stop at St. Augustine, which was nice because that one was at a outlet mall. And I ended up picking up some more Adidas gear. So that was pretty good. We fully charged there. Well, no, not fully charged. I think I took it up to about maybe 80%. Maybe 90. I'm trying to remember, but I didn't do the full 100% on that one. But, like I said, we went shopping, relieved ourselves, and got back to the car, and headed on down to Orlando or Kissimmee. Was able to make that there, make that whole trip in just 2 stops in the long range. I did a calculation on the, I used the a Better Route Planner and plugged in if I still had my Standard Range Plus, it would have been 4 stops. So that was actually pretty cool, just being able to do the whole trip in 2 stops. And got to Orlando. The only traffic we hit was in Orlando. Went through Jacksonville with a breeze. Usually Jacksonville gives me a headache, but once we got into Orlando, that was the first time we really had to use our brakes, or it was in traffic. Which I get, it was rush hour for the locals that are working, and of course all the visitors getting in there. But the only time we hit traffic was there, and we managed to stop at a store to pick up some things before actually getting to the condo we had rented on Airbnb. And the funny thing was, we were able to drive around, went to Universal, did other little things off of that charge that I picked up from St. Augustine. I didn't recharge the car, which was desperately needed by this point, until the night before we were to come back. And that was the Celebration station, Celebration Florida station, which was, for me, it was like it wasn't sketchy or anything like that. It was just, it was the closest one to us. I think I was at 15% by the time I was heading that way. And so I didn't want to spend too much time going to the other ones, which, I think the Celebration station from where I was staying was maybe 4 miles away. The others were like maybe 7 or 8. And so we went to the Celebration station. There's a Five Guys and a few other restaurants, but it just seemed a little, I don't know, getting to it. It wasn't really anything that jumped out at me at that spot that I'm like, oh yeah, this is a pretty cool spot. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I need high blood pressure medicine if I eat Five Guys fries. There was another I can't think of the other restaurant, but it wasn't really much there, in my view. It was just, off the beaten path, and you charge up. It was busy at first. Now, I was disappointed with this station also because of the charging speeds. It is not the fastest. I've been to somewhere that says it's at 250 kilowatt hours. This one I think was $1.50, which you see that on your screen when you're choosing the stations, and I didn't see that many 250s down there. But this one took forever. I mean, we were there for to fully charge it for our trip to come back to Charlotte. Gosh, I swear we were there from 15%. We were there an hour and a half easy. It was to the point, I mean, I was going through Netflix. Thank God Tesla put Netflix in there. I mean, but it was just like the slowest. Now, I say it was busy. I'll put it, I mean, yeah, I got there and everybody had came and left. And it got to the point where I was like the only car sitting there, which was like, dang, I mean, we're still, and my wife she wanted to ride with me. I knew it was going to be a long charge, and I didn't want her to come because I know she doesn't pack the patience I do when it comes to that. But it got to the point where I was like, oh man, I'm going to have to, make this up to her somehow, because it was like an hour and a half of our day gone. That was just gone. And as a matter of fact, I think it got to the point where I didn't even get to 100%, because I like to, for the trips, I'll fully charge it. Try to maximize my range, because I know my wife doesn't like to stay at spots too long. But man, I'm telling you, this one, it got to the point where we still had like 20 minutes left, and I know it slows down once it gets, once you pass that, 90 or 80, 90% range, and before it fully charges, it's going to slow down. But man, so Celebration was not a good experience. I mean, that just took way too long. Maybe as a top off, or maybe it's just meant as a quick hitter, but I don't see how, because it's so far off the beaten path. Like I said, I mean, I don't see how that one made it there, because it just must be for locals, because I mean, it was so far, it wasn't near any freeways or anything like that. I mean, it was just, you had to hump to it. You're going to waste 5% getting to it if you were coming off a freeway. So, not a good spot. I would probably just leave that one to the locals. Like I said, I chose it because it was just, I was down and I needed something quick, and I probably should have chose something else. All right, so we left out that next morning, around 6:30. And our stop after that was from Orlando. We went all the way up to, we were supposed to go to Brunswick, Georgia. But I had to use the bathroom. I think I got the bladder of a 3-week-old kitten. And so when I used a better route planner the night before, it had me stopping in Kingsland, Georgia. And when I got into the car, it was telling me to go ahead and go to Brunswick. So right as I was approaching the Kingsland exit, I was like, man, I got to use the bathroom. So it was myself, and then there was a Model X that seemed to be racing me to get off the X. I mean, he flew by me. I guess he assumed it was, only one space available. And I mean, that charging station was wide open. I mean, if he looked at the screen, it would have told him it was wide open. I mean, but he was just doing everything possible to stay in front of me so he can get to that station first. So anyway, so we got to the Kingsland exit. Not a lot there. It sits in the middle of a parking lot. It looks like their town hall or their welcome center. They have like their police departments there. And that's my dog stretching. So their police department is there. There's a hotel right behind there. So I went to the bathroom there because we were traveling on Memorial Day itself. So their town hall was closed, I assume. And I had to assume it was closed because I figured if it's government and I was government and I'm off, I had to assume that building was going to be closed. So we went to the hotel that was right behind it. We just walk out of that parking lot into the next parking lot at the, I can't remember the name of the hotel, but used their bathroom. There was a gas station right around the corner. But the good thing was it was like right off the freeway. So you get off the exit and, a few wheel turns and you're at that charging station. Peaceful. You had a little pond there, and my wife and my daughter and her boyfriend were looking at the birds or whatever, the water birds that were there. But, pretty fast charger. We weren't there long at all. I mean, it was just long enough to walk over to the bathroom. I got it back up to maybe 90%, and we were off to I think it was going to have us routed to Columbia at that point. Or no, not Columbia. I can't think of it. It's the worst one not the worst one. It's outside of Charleston, Santee. I think it was going to route us to the Santee station from there. So as we're riding, my wife, I actually looked at my wife and I was like, well, it's near lunchtime. I said, yeah, I want to stop off in Savannah, grab some lunch, because Savannah is our favorite, little city to go to. As you heard in my previous videos, I mean, that's part of the reason why we got it, so we can just hit from Charlotte to Savannah without even stopping. So we actually stopped in Savannah, and we got there around maybe 11:30. Stopped at the Seafood Shack near downtown, near River Street. Ate lunch there. I love it at that restaurant. And I know there are probably a ton of other ones, but this one's a really good I won't say hole in the wall, but you can eat good seafood without breaking your wallet all over. It's just, their lunch special. I ended up getting a crab boil. I got a seafood boil with crab at lunchtime. I mean, for the four of us, I ended up paying for all four of us. And I think with the tip, I might have spent $70. And, I mean, I know for some people they're thinking McDonald's would have been cheaper, but I'm talking about we all had seafood boils and I with crab, and I mean it was good. We had the, I mean, it was delicious. My wife ended up having a fish taco because she's allergic to shellfish. So, for $70 for 4 grown adults with the tips and drinks, I was good with that. So then we walked around River Street, did some shopping. So we wasted maybe 2 or 3 hours in Savannah before we got on the road. And then it took us right back up to Hardeeville. Get to Hardeeville. Now the problem was leaving Savannah, everybody and their mama was heading back home on their, from their trips down to wherever they were coming from. So 95 was a beast. Leaving Savannah, getting on the that bridge that crosses over the river. I mean, it took us all of, I'm going to say maybe an hour to get from downtown Savannah till we got to 95. No, I'm sorry, to the Hardeeville. It took us about a half hour to get to Hardeeville, which it should not had. And I mean, it was just backed up going that way. And we get to Hardeeville. Hardeeville's wide open. We got there charged up. But the problem was 95 North was jammed up, and everybody that was coming out of Savannah on 17 was getting onto, 95 North. So I had to maneuver and try to get in there. So that was bad. But then 95 was just slow go. So I fully charged the car there out of Hardeeville because I did not want to stop anywhere else because traffic was stacking. So when we left there, Tesla wanted to send me to Columbia. And what I ended up doing was I took off because I knew the amount of miles that I had. I'm like, surely I can get to Charlotte on this single charge. We're fully charged. So I took off I took off the stops and it recalculated and it said I can get home and have like 15% left, which I was like, that's straight. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So it kept giving me the errors. I can get there as long as I stay below 75 miles an hour. Easy to do. That's cruising speed for me anyway. So, I with the extra weight and stop and go traffic, I kept it around 72 just for, that buffer. But I kept it in autopilot and we ended up getting here right at 15% and all was well. So right now I took my I took my car over to my favorite fire department that has the solar chargers and all the other chargers over. I think it's like maybe 10 chargers. I was going to use the solar charger, but it just sometimes it takes a little longer and I want to go ahead and get it fully charged. So I went over there at 15% and it should be, this is 10:30 in the morning. I probably won't be picking it up till tonight because it's running about 7 kilowatt hours, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to see where it is right now. Yeah, I can't find the Tesla app on my watch. I thought it used to have one. Maybe it didn't. But anywho, so I'll probably be picking it up sometime tonight. But other than that, the trip was good. Coming back was way longer than going. And like I said, that's because we killed about maybe 3 hours in Savannah, and then traffic was stacking. So my wife did not like that. I didn't like it either. I mean, it just seemed way too long. We ended up getting back here. Like I said, we left out at 6 out of Orlando, and we got home last night at 7. So that was just way too long. I've been better off coming out of Miami for that amount of hours. But like I said, we spent some time in Savannah. So had it to do over again, I probably would have stuck to some roadside food and not stop in Savannah. I wasn't really paying attention because at the time when we were heading up, I guess we were ahead of all the traffic, but spending time in Savannah, we just let the traffic stacked on us and it just added all that extra time. So that would be my tip. If you're ahead of traffic, keep going. And I mean, but it was still good memories in Savannah. You know, it's our favorite spot. We ended up picking up some extra stuff. So, but just the length of time of being in the car, I probably would not stop off. Now, had I done it like I was going down, that trip would have been fine from Charlotte to Orlando. It wasn't bad. Nobody complained when we got there. No one was like, oh, it was too long. It was just that coming back trip that just, which I can understand. So that was kind of my fault on suggesting that. I should have just kept my mouth closed on that and would have been back home in time to enjoy the rest of the day. But as soon as I got home, I mean, I melted into the bed up there. So, but the trip was good. Like I said, I documented some of the stops on the YouTube Shorts, which I think that saves me. It just keeps it nice and short and simple on those stops. I just did a quick little spin around, let people see the stations. Other people may have other experiences at some of those other spots that I stopped at. But other than that, it was a good trip, good relaxing trip. Something that was needed. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you guys commenting and subscribing. Like I said, I'm gonna keep this going. I just, like I say in my other videos, I'm not putting on productions. I'm not doing clickbaits. I'm just gonna be talking about, whatever the topic is that I type up in the title bar, and it's not gonna be clickbaits or 30-minute videos on everything else just to get you to watch. I don't mind as people see, as you leave comments, I'll reply right back, and it's all in good fun. I mean, I've had some people that not like the videos, and that's fine. I mean, hell, I've had videos that I hadn't liked. So, but like I said, for me, it's just gonna be having fun and talking about things, and hopefully for the new Tesla owners or people that are considering it, like I said, I'm not going to give away everything about the car or the company or anything like that, or things to do, because I don't want to ruin the movie. I want you to, and I want you to discover those things on your own, so you're excited about some of the things. And I've come to learn as well with some of these clickbait videos, there aren't any secrets. Especially for people who own the cars, there are no secrets. There aren't 10 or 12 hidden things that Tesla doesn't want you to know about or anything like that. Not true, it's just clickbait. Everything that's in the car, you learn it either from, delivery, or just, you have the owner's manual there, which is on the screen. For the most part, the car is a car. It doesn't do anything too much different that another car does. There aren't any hidden buttons or anything like that. Or, oh, I didn't know my car. Yeah, you did. I mean, if you had a car before, yeah. So I'm not going to do any of those clickbait videos just to get people to view, or I don't know why they do that. I mean, it frustrates me because you get on there and you're like, what the heck is really nothing? I mean, yes, you open the door this way or no. But so, like I said, you're more than welcome to watch those clickbait videos, and that's just not going to be me. I'm just not going to do the whole 12 hidden things, because there aren't any hidden things. And for people that say, oh, there are 10 things that I dislike about this car, no, it isn't. It's just clickbait, because if there was any one thing that I dislike about my car, I'd done the same thing to it like I did with the other one. I'd have put it on Carvana and bought something else. So people who are doing that, oh, the 10 things I dislike about the car, I'm not going to do that either. Because I like the car. I like it just like I like my Jeep. So, I mean, you buy something that you like. You don't buy things just because you don't like it. I mean, if you're going to buy something because you don't like it, I don't know what's wrong with you. So, but anyway, like I said, here on ELMKG Life, I'm not going to do none of that stuff. I'm just going to talk. I know I'm going over my topic right now, but I just felt that on my heart to say. I want to get that out there that, I just get so sick and tired of these clickbait videos, especially when you're just trying to figure out something. Now, I do have this one here if anybody want to comment on it. leaving downtown Savannah. The trip would have been 100% perfect, but I ended up getting some curb rash on my rear wheel. I didn't see the curb leaving this garage, and I'm like heartbroken. So I don't know if Tesla does. I'm going to research it myself, but if anybody knows of any tips or anything like that, because I hate to search for it on YouTube because I know I'm going to get like 20 minutes of content that has nothing to do with it or them trying to sell something. Anybody has any experience with it, or it doesn't have to be a Tesla car. It can be any other car that you had in your own that wasn't a Tesla, that you've had that curb rash and you figured out, good places that do it, or if it's worth the money to have it taken to one of those repair shops. So that's just one thing that I'm dealing with right now, where I'm just like, oh, and it got me good too. That curb, it just reached out and sucked the life out of me. That's ooh. Alrighty. Well, other than that, guys, keep watching. I'll keep doing some of these other videos, trying to figure out another location to go to. So far, since I had the long range, I've been to Savannah, Greenville, South Carolina, Orlando. I'm trying to think. I've been up to Baden Lake. That's our other little vacation spot, about an hour outside of Charlotte. But anybody have any other, I try to choose spots that's within maybe 2 or 3 charging stops. So any other good fun locations. I may do Atlanta. I don't know, Atlanta. We used to live there, but I don't know. I may do Atlanta. I may not. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out some destinations to go to. I may do the New River Trail up in Virginia, up past Galax. I'm sure people who are, probably are familiar with the area know about it. I would like to do the Creeper Trail. I've heard about that, but I hadn't been to that one. But the New River, I've been there, but I just wonder how the Tesla will perform in the mountains. But other than that, if you guys have any tips on the curb rash or other road trip ideas, and I'm looking for road trips that have great farmers markets. Me and my wife, we're loving doing that right now. So any other farmers markets in your areas or whatever that's worth the trip, just give me some of those tips. All right, I'll see y'all in the next one.